Hi everyone, I just wanted to show everybody very briefly how to do the little button binding that I've been doing on a couple of albums, junk journals, etc. recently. I sort of come across it by accident. I was so desperate to find something different than binding rings and ribbon and something that would allow free movement of the pages. And this is the sort of thing I've done on the little tiny albums, and I've just done. Now these buttons are not what I'm using on here, I've just done this to show you. And I've put elastic through. I've knotted it on the back, but normally I would put that on the inside. Left it loose. You can even hang it up by that if you wanted. A bit like a little bag, I suppose, but that's not how I usually use it. I've left it quite free so you can obviously turn your pages. And if you wanted to add more pages, you can do it quite simply by using your hole punch to make your holes. And cut a little slit in from the side to the hole, but do it towards the bottom so that works a bit like a hook. So once you put the page in, it won't come sliding out when you pick it up. Now that's a bit of chipboard, so that's a bit harder to do, but that's basically how you can add some pages. Or, of course, if you don't want them in there, they are easy enough to pull out because the elastic's quite tough. Okay, if the book stays quite thin and I didn't want to add more pages, to close it completely you can put one button over the other, make sure they're both up the same way, and tighten the book. So now it's quite thin and you can tighten the book like that. So that's one way of doing it. I'll just show you on this book. I'm making my son a book because he's 18 in a week or so's time, and I'm just nowhere yet. It's very much in progress, but anyway, I'll just show you briefly. I wouldn't normally use this elastic either because it frays so badly at the end, it makes it difficult to actually thread through. So what I'm doing with this, I'm just threading the button so that it's kind of halfway through the elastic, and you've threaded both bits at the top. Then I will put that through my book, which will go through the front, through the pages on the inside, and then out the back, hopefully. I've not tried this previously with this one, so it might take a couple of goes. And there it is. So that's through. And then on the back I choose another button. Actually, I've got any ordinary ones. Let's try one of these little. You can see what I mean by the fraying. I'll just set fire to that a moment and melt it. Try not to burn everything when you do that. I should have done that before I started, really. And then push it back through. So I've now got a button on the back. Then I get these two ends together. And when I've got this roughly where I want it, I'll just tie it off. Each book's different because it obviously depends on how thick you're going to do your book. This, when it's done, will be quite wide. So I've now got one piece of elastic. Alright, I've got all this extra that I don't want. And I've got a button on the front and a button on the back. Now once I've done this book, I would normally pull the knot again into the book or into the cover and even cover it over. I wouldn't leave it on the outside. And then when the book's full, I would stretch the elastic round and pull one button over the other. This isn't the best example because it's a bit loose. I'll tighten it up in fact because I'm not going to use this. Just to give you a better idea. I'll trim that off. I would normally burn the edges to stop it from fraying any further. And then I would just pull the back over the front, and the buttons stay there. These obviously wouldn't be on here, it would just be buttons. And it doesn't matter, but I think the bigger button on the front looks better. If you've got little buttons, I would use them on the back in fact, and just put the little ones over the big ones. It does it easier that way anyway. And that's how I do it. You can double up on the elastic if you want to. providing the holes are big enough in your buttons, then you can double up on the elastic. If you've got ones with this sort of backs, these are excellent, except that if you do use any kind of eyelets, then you will find that most of those will not fit. This one might, because it's only got a small back, it'll fit in the hole, but most of them won't, so you're better off with the flat ones. So that is a bit of a speedy demonstration. There are a couple of other ways of doing it, and I will, when I get a chance, I will redo this for you and show you the other ways that I've found as well. But I'm sure most of you will come up with different things on your own. Another thing I saw recently on Pinterest, this one I hadn't seen, this is something I think I come up with myself, I haven't seen it elsewhere anyway. I have seen these sort of thing like bobby thingies that kids have in their hair used as a closure before, but I've never seen any of these button things used as a binding. I saw something on Pinterest the other day. I'll just take all the paper out of this because something else in progress, and I saw somebody had put some elastic through the front of a book. The book actually had 2 holes, not 3, but this is just to show you. And once they had all their pages in it, they literally pretend that's not there. And that one, because that shouldn't be there either. Let's pull that out. There we go. They literally had their elastic tied off at the back, so it was sealed here, and the front they had a big paper clip going through it. And that was the actual closure. So it's quite good in one way because you can undo that, but you would need something on here to stop this sliding off once you've undone it. So it's something I'm looking at now, see if I can alter that a little bit. But that's the general closure on the buttons. Really, really simple. Button front, button back. You can leave it open when you want to go through your book, and then you just, when you're finished and you want to close it up and put it away, pull the back over the front and leave it. You can work these so that they sit on the spine. I usually have a cover on my spine as well. I don't usually leave it open, but I'm waiting to see how thick the book ends up first. And that's it. Button bindings. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.